You wake up, place your feet on the floor, but your legs hesitate as if they're still asleep. The truth. Your muscles may be breaking down overnight if your body isn't prepared. Harvard research shows seniors in the U.S. lose up to 1% of muscle per year after 60, especially when morning habits disrupt recovery. This video reveals how to fix 5 morning habits that may be draining your strength so you can protect your muscles, move with confidence, and feel stronger each time you rise. If you're over 60 and your legs feel heavier each morning, even when you didn't do anything strenuous the day before, you're not alone. It's not just age, and it's certainly not laziness. It's your body quietly trying to tell you, I'm working to rebuild, but I'm not getting what I need. As we grow older, our natural ability to restore muscle, especially during sleep, starts to decline. Growth hormone levels fall, protein absorption slows, and unless your body receives the right kind of fuel early in the day, it may begin breaking down muscle tissue for energy instead of rebuilding it. That same morning routine you followed for years, maybe even decades, could now be quietly working against your strength. A 2021 report from Harvard Health showed that older adults who skipped protein at breakfast or delayed eating in the morning were up to 35% more likely to experience accelerated muscle loss and balance issues over time. And yet millions of seniors across the U.S. begin their day with habits that unknowingly block recovery. Some seem comforting, others are considered healthy, but they could be sending your body the wrong message that muscle doesn't need to be preserved. The good news is you don't need a strict routine or a total lifestyle change. Just a few small shifts in your morning can help protect your muscles and bring back the strength you count on every day. So today, we'll look at the 5 most common morning habits that may be silently draining your muscles after 60 and how to turn them into quiet tools for rebuilding. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a good time. Just tap that button and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next health tip made just for you. And if you find this helpful, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. These 5 common morning habits might feel harmless, but they could be quietly working against your muscles day after day. Number 1. The coffee-only morning. That starves your muscles. It's 6:45 a.m. The house is quiet. Outside, a soft golden light begins to warm the porch. Inside, George, 72 years old, retired truck driver widower, sits at his kitchen table just like he has for decades. In front of him is a familiar comfort, one ceramic mug filled with steaming black coffee. No cream, no sugar, no breakfast. He sips slowly. He glances at the paper, and he tells himself, I'll eat something later. But later doesn't always come. Sometimes lunch arrives before he's realized he's skipped a meal. Other times he nibbles on crackers or toast around mid-morning, but nothing with real fuel. Sound familiar? For millions of older adults across the U.S., mornings like George's are routine. Coffee feels light, convenient, familiar. And for years, maybe even decades, it worked just fine. But after 60, our bodies start to change, and that same habit can quietly begin working against you. You see, caffeine, especially when consumed alone, causes cortisol levels to rise. Cortisol is your body's natural stress hormone. It's useful in the right dose. It helps you wake up, feel alert, and manage energy. But when cortisol stays elevated for too long, especially without food to balance it, it begins to interfere with how your body repairs itself and how it builds muscle. Your muscles need more than movement to stay strong. They need protein. They need nutrients. And most importantly, they need timing. Morning is when your body is most ready to rebuild the muscle it lost overnight. But if all you've had is coffee, you're missing that critical opportunity. According to a Mayo Clinic summary on aging and nutrition, older adults who consume caffeine on an empty stomach experience higher cortisol spikes, reduced muscle protein synthesis, and slower recovery, especially in the legs. That means more fatigue, more balance issues, and a slower sense of movement even when nothing hurts. The problem isn't coffee itself, it's what's missing beside it. Your body doesn't need a full breakfast buffet. It just needs a signal that says, I'm safe, I'm nourished, I can start rebuilding. That signal comes from food, and even a small amount can make a difference. George didn't overhaul his routine. He simply added 1 boiled egg with his coffee. 2 weeks later, he said, I don't grab the counter when I stand up anymore. I just get up. That's not a miracle. That's a muscle being supported, quietly, consistently. So if you're someone who starts the day with coffee and nothing else, consider pairing it with something small and protein-rich. A few spoonfuls of Greek yogurt, a slice of whole grain toast with almond butter, half a cup of unsweetened soy milk, even a handful of walnuts. These are light, senior-friendly options that help lower cortisol, support digestion, and, most importantly, give your muscles the fuel they need at the time they need it most. Because strength after 60 isn't just about how much you move, it's about how you start the day. And sometimes protecting your muscles begins not in the gym, but in the kitchen. And speaking of starting strong, there's one more habit many older adults jump into right after their coffee. It sounds healthy, it looks impressive, but if your stomach is still empty, it might be sending your muscles the wrong message. Let's take a look. Number 2. Exercising on an empty stomach, not always wise. Picture this, it's 7:15 in the morning. The sun is just rising over the neighborhood. Barbara, 68 years old, ties her sneakers and steps outside for her daily walk. It's part of her routine, a brisk 25-minute loop around the block followed by a few light stretches in the living room. She hasn't eaten anything yet, just a quick glass of water and half a cup of coffee. She tells herself, it's better this way. I don't want to feel too full. But by the time she's halfway through the second lap, her energy dips. Her legs feel a little shaky. She pushes through like always, but it's not the same kind of strength she remembers. Later that morning, she notices something else. Her legs feel sore. Not the good kind of sore, the drained kind. And strangely, even though she exercised, she doesn't feel stronger. She feels slower, tighter, a little foggy. What Barbara didn't realize, and what so many older adults don't know, is that exercising on an empty stomach may actually weaken your muscles instead of strengthening them. Now, to be clear, movement is essential. Gentle morning walks, chair yoga, light stretching. These are powerful tools for keeping your joints mobile and your heart healthy. But when and how you move, especially after 60, matters more than most people think. As we age, our metabolism slows and our blood sugar becomes more sensitive. When you exercise without eating first, especially early in the day, your body may not have enough circulating energy to support the activity. And when that happens, it turns to stored sources, not just fat, but muscle. Your body begins breaking down muscle tissue to release amino acids and maintain your energy levels. And over time, instead of building strength, you may be quietly losing it. In fact, a study published by the Journal of Applied Physiology found that older adults who exercised in a fasted state had a significantly higher rate of muscle protein breakdown compared to those who ate a small protein-rich snack beforehand. Another study by the National Institute on Aging showed that fasted morning workouts, even gentle ones, led to higher instances of dizziness, fatigue, and poor balance among seniors with no prior health issues. And it's not just about the muscles. Exercising on an empty stomach can also trigger hypoglycemia, a drop in blood sugar that can leave you feeling weak, shaky, lightheaded, or nauseated. For someone in their 30s or 40s, the body might bounce back quickly, but after 60, that recovery takes longer, and the risk of a fall or fainting episode increases. So what's the solution? It's not to stop moving, and it's definitely not to give up your morning walks or stretches. The answer is far simpler and gentler than you might think. Just give your body a little something to work with before you move. A small banana, half an avocado with a sprinkle of salt, a boiled egg, a few spoonfuls of Greek yogurt, even a protein bar if it's low in sugar and easy to digest. None of these options are heavy. None will make you feel too full. But they do one powerful thing: they signal safety to your body. They tell your system, you're supported. You don't need to break anything down. You can build now. Barbara made the smallest change, half a banana, 15 minutes before her walk. She didn't think much of it, but 3 days in, she said something changed. My legs didn't get heavy halfway through, and I didn't need to sit down as soon as I came back. It felt smoother. That's the power of timing and listening to what your body really needs. Before we move on, try asking yourself this: what can I give my body today before I ask it to give me more? And speaking of giving your body what it truly needs, There's one habit that many older adults think is helping their digestion and detox, but may actually be making things harder for your stomach and your muscles. Let's take a look. Number 3, lemon water, gentle or harmful. Every morning like clockwork, Helen pours a glass of warm water. She slices a fresh lemon, squeezes it in, and drinks slowly by the window. It feels clean, light, refreshing. She's done it for years. Her neighbor swears by it. So does her daughter. Everyone says the same thing. It's natural, it's detoxifying, it's good for digestion. And to be fair, lemon water isn't all bad. It's hydrating. It's a source of vitamin C. It feels like a healthy way to start the day. But after 60, our bodies respond differently, especially when lemon water is the first thing that hits an empty stomach. You see, lemon juice is highly acidic, and when consumed without food to buffer it, it can irritate the lining of the stomach, especially as we age. Stomach acid production becomes less balanced. The protective layer of the gut becomes thinner, and that morning ritual that once felt soothing might now be doing more harm than good. For many seniors, the signs are subtle bloating reflux, that heavy feeling that food just sits in the belly. But there's something else too, something more important. Excess acid in the morning may interfere with your body's ability to absorb key nutrients, especially minerals like calcium, magnesium, and potassium-3, nutrients essential for maintaining muscle balance and nerve health. According to a 2020 review in the American Journal of Gastroenterology, adults over 65 who regularly consumed acidic beverages on an empty stomach showed lower absorption rates of these essential minerals, particularly when also taking medications or supplements. And let's not forget that many older adults take blood pressure medication, thyroid medication, or bone supplements, all of which can be affected by acidic drinks. The timing matters. The combination matters. And your stomach's sensitivity matters more than ever. So should you give up lemon water forever? Not necessarily, but there are better, safer ways to support digestion without disturbing your stomach or blocking muscle nutrients. The simplest option, just switch to plain warm water. It still rehydrates, it still gently wakes up your system, and it supports digestion without adding more acid to your stomach. If you still want a bit of flavor, try adding a thin slice of apple or a small piece of fresh ginger. Both offer natural antioxidants and digestive support without overwhelming acidity. Helen made that small shift. Instead of lemon, she now adds 2 slices of apple and a tiny sliver of ginger. Within days, the post-breakfast bloating eased. Her vitamins felt easier to digest. She didn't feel weighed down by noon. "I thought lemon was helping," she said. "But it turns out my body just needed something calmer. Because after 60, it's not just about what sounds healthy, it's about what your body can comfortably use." So before you reach for that lemon wedge tomorrow morning, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this still working for me? Because sometimes keeping your muscles strong doesn't require more effort, just fewer irritants and the right kind of support. And speaking of support, there's one more habit many seniors rely on every morning, especially after breakfast. It's meant to help them get going, to feel sharper and more alert. But in reality, it may be doing the opposite, tightening blood vessels, raising blood pressure, and robbing your body of nutrients it needs for energy and strength. Number 4, stressful news or emails. First thing. The room is still dim. The coffee's barely warm. Before your feet even hit the floor, your phone is already in your hand. You're scrolling not aimlessly but out of habit. News headlines, weather alerts, a message from your insurance, an email from your daughter, something about paperwork, a strange charge on your bank statement. Nothing urgent, but enough to put you on edge. For many older adults, this is how the day begins, not with peace, but with pressure. And here's why that matters more than most people realize. In the early morning, your body naturally experiences a spike in cortisol, the hormone responsible for waking you up and getting your system moving. It's normal, even helpful in moderation. But when your first input of the day is stress, digital, emotional, or mental, that natural cortisol surge turns into a flood. And that's where problems begin. Cortisol is catabolic, meaning it breaks things down. When levels stay elevated for too long, it begins interfering with muscle protein synthesis. In simpler terms, your body becomes less able to repair or build muscle tissue. Over time, especially if this is a daily habit, your muscles may become weaker, not because you're not moving, but because your recovery is being blocked at the hormonal level. A 2019 study from the Journal of Gerontology found that adults over 65 who experienced elevated morning cortisol, often triggered by digital stress or emotional stimuli, showed lower muscle retention, slower coordination, and higher inflammation markers related to neuromuscular function. It's not just your body, it's your nervous system, the communication line between your brain and your muscles. And when that system wakes up under stress, it stays in fight or flight mode much longer than it should. That means more tension, less balance, slower reactions, and more fatigue. And the irony: most of the information we scroll through first thing isn't even helpful. We're not solving anything at 6:45 a.m. We're just starting the day in a state of quiet panic. So what's the alternative? Give your body a calmer signal. Before you reach for your phone, try reaching for the light. Literally, open the blinds. Let in some sun, even if it's cloudy. Light helps reset your circadian rhythm, balances cortisol naturally, and signals safety. Still need a routine? Try putting on soft music, jazz, piano, nature sounds, something without commercials, without headlines, and without opinions. Just sound to fill the space and remind your body that it's okay to start slowly. You could also write a short note in a journal. One sentence. Something you're thankful for. Or just sit in silence with your warm drink, letting your body fully wake up before your mind jumps ahead. One woman, 74, said she stopped checking her phone until after breakfast. "I didn't think it mattered," she said, "but my hands aren't as shaky now. And I'm not as tired by noon." It's a small shift, but like many things after 60 small shifts often bring the biggest returns. So if your habit is to start the day with alerts and urgency, try switching it just for 1 week. Give yourself 30 calm minutes before looking at a screen. See how your legs feel, how your breath feels, how your shoulders sit. You might be surprised at how much tension was sneaking in unnoticed and how much lighter your body becomes when the day doesn't start in defense. And now for the final habit, one that seems innocent, even essential. It's something most older adults have done for years without thinking twice. But for some, it may be quietly draining essential nutrients and increasing the risk of muscle loss without warning. Let's take a closer look. Number 5. Taking blood pressure pills before food. For the last 12 years, Harold has started his mornings the same way. He wakes up around 6:30, walks slowly to the kitchen, and reaches for the small plastic tray sitting beside the sink. In it, 3 pills. 2 are for his blood pressure. 1 is a mild diuretic. He takes them all with a quick sip of water. No food, no coffee, just the pills. "I like to get it out of the way," he says, "before I forget." And for years it felt fine. Routine, simple, efficient. But lately Harold has noticed something odd. His legs feel weaker by mid-morning. Not painful, just wobbly. His energy dips faster. Sometimes he gets lightheaded when he stands up too quickly. At first he thought it was just age, but deep down something didn't feel right. Here's what many older adults don't realize: taking certain medications, especially diuretics or blood pressure pills on an empty stomach, may quietly be draining your body of the very nutrients your muscles need to stay strong. Let's break it down. Diuretics, also known as water pills, are commonly prescribed to help lower blood pressure by reducing fluid in the body. They work by prompting your kidneys to release more sodium and water through urine. But they also flush out other essential electrolytes, especially potassium and magnesium. These minerals are crucial for muscle contractions, balance, and nerve function. When taken on an empty stomach without food to slow absorption or buffer effects, the body can experience a faster drop in these minerals. That can lead to symptoms like fatigue, cramping, dizziness, or general muscle weakness, even if you've been taking the same medication for years. According to a 2021 report from the American Heart Association, older adults who took diuretics without food were more likely to report lower limb fatigue, reduced mobility scores, and greater fluctuations in electrolyte levels, particularly potassium. Over time, this can contribute to muscle breakdown and slower recovery, especially in those over 65. And it's not just diuretics. Certain calcium channel blockers and ACE inhibitors can also cause blood pressure to drop more sharply when taken without food, increasing the risk of falls or morning weakness. The tricky part is many seniors take their medications first thing in the morning simply because they don't want to forget. That's understandable, especially when managing multiple prescriptions, but the timing and context in which you take those pills can make a big difference in how your body responds. So what can you do? First, don't stop taking any medication without speaking to your doctor. But consider this simple shift: have a small bite of food before your pills, not a full breakfast, just something gentle and easy. A slice of banana, half a boiled egg, a spoonful of plain yogurt, even a small square of whole grain toast. These light options provide enough to buffer your stomach, support mineral absorption, and reduce the strain on your muscles and nerves. Harold made one small change. He started eating a quarter of an avocado with a pinch of salt, just a few bites before taking his morning pills. After a week, the difference was noticeable. "My legs feel steadier now," he said. "I don't wobble as much when I stand. And I don't feel as drained by noon." You can also ask your doctor or pharmacist whether certain medications can be taken later in the day or whether they work better when paired with a meal. Many prescriptions come with general instructions, but those instructions don't always account for how your body changes after 60. If memory is a concern, try keeping a small note by your pill box. Eat first, or set a reminder on your phone. Your medication will still do its job, but your body won't have to pay for it with your strength. Because after 60, it's not just about staying on track. It's about staying upright, stable, in control. Sometimes it's the smallest bit of food, the tiniest shift in timing, that allows your muscles to keep supporting you the way they were meant to. And now that we've explored 5 common morning habits that may be draining your strength, let's pull everything together and talk about how to turn small corrections into lasting confidence. If your legs have felt slower lately, your balance less steady, or your energy fading before the day even begins, it's easy to blame age. Many older adults quietly accept these changes, thinking maybe this is just what happens now. But the truth is, your body hasn't given up. It's simply been waiting for a little help. The habits you formed years ago may no longer match what your body truly needs today, and that's not your fault. It just means it's time for a gentle update. A small shift in the morning eating before coffee, skipping the lemon water, or even waiting a moment before checking your phone can help your muscles feel safer, your energy steadier, and your confidence stronger. You don't need a dramatic routine, just a better rhythm. So if something in this video gave you a new perspective or reminded you that strength is still possible at any age, let us know in the comments. And if there's someone in your life who deserves to feel stronger each morning, share this video with them.